So I'm Stephen White, I'm the Town Engineer and Traffic Department Director. We are having our team from Seven Summits and Friar Architects present on some of the information they put together when they responded to the town's RFP. We also want to get feedback from this group about what the community wants to see in the renovated structure itself. So this team is doing the renovation within that gymnasium footprint and then seeking feedback on what goes into that space. Other than that, like, we have a suggestion we've made. Once we've gone through the presentation, we'll take feedback. But what's your question?
I have a question.
Okay.
I have two questions. Actually, is the mayor going to be here tonight?
I don't see her here, and I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. And secondly, but more importantly, you said that you want the input from the people, the community, about how we would like to see this youth center done? Is that what you just said?
No, the gymnasium, like, so this is a renovated gymnasium building.
Right.
We initially, like, visualized it as a youth center,
Right.
arts and rec center. However, the footprint itself, we can do different things within
I
it.
get it.
The only thing that I know that's gonna be there is the gymnasium.
So let me ask you a question. We the people, do we have a voice? That's all I want to know. Do we have a voice? Do we have a voice? The people that are in this room?
Yes.
Because the people in this room, for the majority, I think I can speak for most of you, we don't want it there on that contaminated soil. Period. This meeting is a new issue. It's a new issue because we're doing something that the people don't want. We the people, this is our town. My taxes are $11,000 in Hamden, Southern Hamden. This is my town. I don't want it. These people here don't want it, and I think I'm a fan of not wasting my time. And I feel like this is a waste of our time because we have a meeting to discuss a meeting, to schedule a meeting, to talk about a meeting, to talk about, oh, what are we going to do? This is moot. It does not make any sense. Yeah, he was trying to figure that one out. Right, exactly, because this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So the bottom line is, and I mean no disrespect to you, Steve, you're a cool dude, right? But here's the thing, I'm tired of coming to these meetings, meeting after meeting, month after month after month. We have made no leeway at all. The people are saying, we don't want it. You guys are not listening to us. You already got somebody to come in and do what they're gonna do, and you're telling us we have a voice. Oh, we want you to help us design it. We don't want it. What do you mean to help design it? We have said time and time again, and frankly, what you hear in my voice right now is frustration. 15 years I've been in the industry of working with you. 15 years. I would never put anything on that property. I worked for the Hamden Public Schools in 2005, 2006, when in that building. It was contaminated then, it was toxic then. The town took them out of there and built a new middle school up here, right? So now, you're gonna take that same contaminated property, you're gonna renovate the building. How you gonna get the soil from up underneath the building if you're not gonna knock the freaking building down? It does not make any sense, Steve. So I don't know how loud we have to holler, but here's the deal. What, a sign-up sheet? If you are interested, I called it tear it down, real simple. Sign my sheet. I talked to Channel 8 today. We will make change, and it won't be in that building right there. It will not be in that building because it doesn't make sense. You guys stepped over us. You went out, you got bids, you did whatever you did. You have all of these gentlemen here. And gentlemen, hello. Hi, I'm Yvonne Jones. How are you? I'm sorry. No disrespect to you at all. But I'm very passionate about this because, let me just keep it 100. Anybody in this room that knows me, I'm direct. That community center is for Black and brown kids. Y'all don't care about our kids. I will tell you right now, like I said, I've been doing this for 15 years. When I said I was putting my center down at South Hamden, the individuals that live up here, oh, we're not taking our kids down there. There are 2 Hamdens. And another thing, why are we even here in this building? Because the people who it matters to, they live in South Hamden and they can't get up here. I think it was by design. They can't get up here. And then you call us here to come talk to these gentlemen. Again, no disrespect, gentlemen. You need to know what the real deal is, because I'm a real young lady. I'm a young lady. I'm sorry, I didn't see you back there. Hey, sis, how you doing? But really, no, Steve, you've dealt with me before. I'm a fan of not beating around the bush, right? I just want to know, I've had meeting after meeting today. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm on 3 hours of sleep. So I don't want to kill time talking about something that we don't care about. You're bringing us here, we don't care about it. Because when my son went to that middle school, I hated that middle school. It was terrible. 20 years ago, and it's been vacant ever since, and now you want to renovate it. You have $10 million to renovate a school. She could have bought LA Fitness. She could have took it by eminent domain. It has a pool, it has a gym, it has an exercise room. It's central to everybody, it's on the bus line. Those are the things that make sense. Am I correct? It makes sense. What you're trying to do does not make sense. And Lauren needs to be here tonight because she knows that this is what she was gonna get opposition.
And we are extremely united to only believe the at-risk youth are in Southern Hampton. There are at-risk youth in this entire town.
And I don't like to say at risk, I call them at promise, because at risk is a negative connotation. So I say at promise, but they're never gonna be at promise in that contaminated space. Never, ever. Would you bring your kid there? When they build this crap, are you gonna bring your kid there? Where we should be is down in Southern Hampton, where it really matters. Where the people can get there, where it matters, so that they can talk. I ain't finished yet, hold on. You'll have your time, because after I say this, I'm probably not gonna say nothing else. I gotta get it out now, because I've been holding it for so long. I've been holding it for so long. Nobody's gonna play this game with the town. There are strength in numbers, people. You have a voice. This is your town. You pay taxes here, and guess what? When they spend that $10 million and build that crap, guess what? You're gonna be paying for it. Your taxes are going up. Your taxes are going up. I can't even use the dump. My husband has to take a day off just to go to the dump. It's just a lot with this town. It does not make sense. It doesn't make sense for the people, Steve. And Lauren is wrong for not being here. She needs to be here because this is her ideal. She needs to take this smoke that I'm giving. That's what she needs to do. Don't worry, I'll text you while I'm sitting here. Okay? But the bottom line is, we don't want it. So when are you gonna hear that? Because what you just stood up there and did was gave your spiel like we're supposed to take it. We're not interested in that. These people are here, they're not interested in having a workshop to figure out, what are we gonna do? No, we don't want it. I'm not the only one that's saying that. No, there's many people, you got several people sitting in here. You would have, furthermore, you would have a larger turnout if they would put the information out there. People don't even know. I've been saying this meeting after meeting after meeting. You guys are not getting the information out there. I'm sure that's by design too. Nothing personal. You're caught up in the love affair that's going on here. But the bottom line is, we don't want it. Nobody's sitting around while you guys sit here and discuss that these gentlemen are gonna come and they're gonna, architects are gonna do this and that. And all the land is so safe. The land is not safe. What we should be doing is taking that $10 million of ARPA funding out of the 24 that was earmarked for you. They need to reallocate that money like they so often do. Take that money, buy the properties of the people whose properties are dying. Those people's properties are sinking into the ground. They can't afford their mortgages. They still have to pay for it. So allow them, pay for it. Pay them for their houses, pay their mortgages off. They can't sell those houses. They can't do anything. They can't do anything. Why aren't we addressing that issue? You're talking about building a freaking youth center. These are different kids today. They don't care nothing about a youth center. They want to steal cars. They want to do all this other stuff. And just because you send a youth center and put some arts and recreation in there, these kids don't care about that. We're dealing with a different generation. So there's got to be another solution, Steve. And now I'll sit down because I see you want to say something, and I see that you see me talking and you hear me talking, but you don't really hear me. You don't really hear me. You're looking at me, but it's going in one ear and right out of the other one. And I'm glad it's you, because if little Miss Thane was here being dismissive, tonight wasn't gonna be her night. No. And I'm being for real. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being for real. You gentlemen need to understand how this community feels. We don't want this. We didn't vote for this. They voluntold us what we were gonna do. We're not doing this. Like I said, I have a sheet here. Feel free to sign up on my sheet, because whether you all are in this with me or not, I'm that chick. I'm going for it. So y'all better watch out, because I'm coming.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry that I'm late. I am a Wayner Economic Development Director. So I'm going to just say
It doesn't matter, we don't want it, and I'm sorry, we don't want it.
So,
You're the new girl, I'm gonna let you talk.
well, I've heard you and we've all heard you in this room. I am new, but what I wanted to say is that, I mean, there is a process, and there was a process, and the city council voted for this process.
Okay, my hands up. Hands up, because you got the council right here. Here's the council. Hold up.
I spent.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
We voted, yes. We voted. Go ahead. Don't throw the council out there.
Don't
Half the
do not
council's
do
not
it.
for it.
Don't do it.
Even on the council at the time.
Yes or no, okay.
No.
Whether or not the
No.
entire city council voted for it,
Mm-hmm.
this happened because enough members of the city council who represent the town of Hamden voted for it. The next thing I'm going to
They
say,
represent Lauren.
They represent a part of the town.
so,
Yeah.
the next thing I'm going to say is that, as you all know about how democratic processes work, if you are not happy with the decision that your representatives make, then you have the power to change that. Let me just finish please for a second, okay?
She's sitting right
So we're
there.
at a point where this has been approved and you don't,
Dominique.
members here do not
She's
want.
the one of the ones.
How then should Stephen and I, who are city representatives, we work for the mayor and we.
Us.
Yeah, but for us. Okay,
You work
correct,
for
but.
us. We pay your salaries. Y'all work for us,
Okay,
exactly.
ma'am, I get my salary signed off by the mayor, right? She can fire me.
She should be here, maybe somebody should call her right now and tell her to come.
We pay her salary.
Yeah.
Correct.
Maybe you could call her and tell her to come because
We
people
don't
want
So, let me finish speaking. So how are we to know, right, with the process that was gone through, with public hearings and everything else, that, I don't know, the 50 people in here represent the entire town of Hamden and everything else that
They don't. That's their vote.
that allowed the council members who did vote for this to make the vote for this, right? So we are here today because Stephen and I have a job, which is not political, and the process was gone through, and so the next step in our job is to move that forward. If you do not like that, there are city council meetings, your city council members are here, that is who you need to carry that out.
All right, so,
Where
hold
is
on.
the mayor?
Before you
Why can't
keep-
she be here right now?
But really, okay, so what do you, I really wanna know, what do you mean you don't know what the
So,
meetings
no, what I'm
are?
saying, when they made this decision, we don't have, they made the decision, we don't have a say, so what they should have done, like they're doing now, is come to the community. They didn't do that, they made the decision, and now coming to us, asking us to design it,
Is
that's
there,
not gonna happen.
is there,
And-
you're
and a
saying
place
there's no
where-
public hearing?
No, they never do, they don't even put a notice. This meeting right here, there was like, what, 3 or 4 days notice, this is what they do consistently. The notices don't go out, why do you think there's nobody here, there's only, what, 50 of us here, if that? There's not even 50 people.
And it's so far away from the area.
To impact the community.
And most of us didn't find out. I'm
And
sorry.
there's a lot of seniors that own homes, that live around there, that can't make it way out here. So, you know, it's like, they're ditching, they're hiding, and they're doing what they want, and these people, they can't come if they want.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of I agree, it's not ideal to have it here, but we could not have like the concourse, that's a place where I think is typically where we have these meetings, that was not available. I think that we had a meeting at the church last night, I don't know how available that is, so as far as where the meetings took place, there's nothing, well, the Keith Center was the turkey giveaway today.
Keeps it.
So why couldn't you have
That's
just made it on a
outside.
different day?
Yeah, that's outside.
During the day, because
Why
people-
did it have to be today?
Okay.
If it wasn't
So part of it-
available, I don't know.
Part of this is that the ARPA funding that is going towards this, we have to finish spending the money by, right,
By
whatever the
December
date, December 31st, 2026, right?
No, 2026.
2026.
2026, that's what I said.
I'm
And
sorry.
so,
It has to be
so the
allocated.
work, correct. So the work has to be done, and there's a lot of work to be done, so that's sort of part of the.
Well, I say this is very scary for my grandkids, to go into that building,
So on the,
on grounds that are, horrible. They're toxic, they'll make them sick.
I want,
And I have black children, okay, I'm not gonna be playing games. This is not, I mean, that area, it's not be right now. So, of course, I'm gonna take a building that's been just, for all these years, and now you put a recreational center to pull the children into it, and then you smart.
So,
That speaks.
No, he's asking what the comments are.
Council President, at what point can these ARPA funds, or have we passed that point, be reallocated to another project?
The ARPA funds have to be obligated by the end of this year. They have already been obligated for this project. The ways in which they can be reallocated to another project is that it has to already be for the project that exists, right? So in our ARPA resolution, there's about 20 different projects, including youth mentorship, money towards public works, money for the fire department. There's different subjects.
So you just
So
split this
you
person.
can move them within the project, but it has to be ones that have already been named.
So you said youth mentorship?
Yeah, you're,
No, I didn't.
So,
Oh, I didn't CC you on the letter that I sent to the state and everybody else. I'll send you a copy. But anyway, you said youth mentoring?
so I have a question.
I have a youth mentor nonprofit organization. I have a youth mentor nonprofit organization right back here. And there's one more in the town of Hamden, Trail.
yeah,
And
the reason why the youth mentorship part was added into the article on resolution is because you talked to me as well as Trell and another one that they would like to have money for youth programs for basketball, mentorship out of school.
Right.
And when we had our hearing, everyone was making their motions. I asked for money for youth mentorship, and it was agreed upon by the majority of the council, and that is why that exists.
But what you told me was there was leftover ARPA funding.
I never said the word leftover because I'm gonna tell you this why. This thing was the same night. It couldn't have been left over because we all decided on the same evening.
Okay, here nor there.
Can I say something over here?
We have organizations already, there's buildings already that have youth services in it. Why are we building something on contaminated property or renovating? You're not even building on it, you're renovating.
because.
So basically, we're putting a Band-Aid on it, that's what you're doing.
So it's actually illegal for us to build on something that is contaminated, that would cause harm to. Can you imagine? Can you imagine
Don't worry, the toxin,
and has been remediated? If what we need to do is bring DEC here to go through an explanation at a very granular level of the work that was done, to demonstrate and prove that the work has been done and has been remediated, that it is safe to build, we will do that. Anything that anyone needs to hear from the officials who have expertise in environmental safety and abatement, we will bring them here to assure and to put any fears to rest. I'm very happy to make that.
Ms. Weiner, let me just say this one thing.
Hamden Foundation people.
We can't hear what everyone's talking. Can you raise hands and then we'll call?
Who came out for their homes to begin with?
No.
And the remediation to begin with?
No.
So I beg to differ with you that we have a voice, because as council president can tell you, I was at budget hearings and most of the council members can tell you, every damn time I spoke, we cannot afford this. We cannot afford to sustain this long term. We can't afford the salaries, we can't afford the lights. This is not sustainable. Nothing should be done with that land, aside from knocking down the building, until these houses are remediated. Water always finds a way. And if you are going to build something there and not remediate conjunctively with the two things going on together, and I mean the same contractor, the same engineers, the same everything, water will always find a way, because the middle school is at the higher point of ground, so it's gonna run into their neighborhood. Secondly, this is not Lauren Garrett's legacy. This is her infamy, and it will indebt this town. But I beg to differ, the people haven't spoken. There was a meeting at the building next to the middle school that I spoke on, and I was told by Sean Grace and told the people in the audience not to listen to someone who doesn't live in their neighborhood. Well, everybody, I live on Gilbert Avenue.
That's in the neighborhood.
It's in the neighborhood. So, I'm done. I speak on it, and I have had people who are friends with her message me privately and tell me I'm a racist because I don't want this. It will not help.
Girl, you invited to the cookout, don't even.
This is, and I'm sorry, I am sorry, you guys are caught between a rock and a hard place, and I apologize for that.
Ms. Weiner,
You're not the first.
Ms. Weiner,
You have
I need to
council
say
people,
something
we're gonna
really
need to talk
quickly.
as well.
I need to speak about you just made a comment about the council. And I want to just let you know, I'm personally offended by that because I just got on this council. This was already approved before I personally got there, number one. And let me just also say, we continue to have the council be, Eric, you're doing exactly what Eric Johnson has done. Eric Johnson would sit in these meetings and say, well, the council did this and the council did that. And I'm just telling you, I wasn't on that council. And ever since that I've gotten on the council, I voted against this because of this very meeting right here. No one, you know what? Let me just tell you something. We had a meeting with Launch yesterday at the same church that you guys say that y'all couldn't come down to on Shelton Avenue. All right, the same church. We were there last night. I left early because the meeting was still going on. If y'all ask the church, I'm sure they'll allow you to go down there tonight. We can't continue to have these kind of meetings outside of the impacted community. I said that when I voted against the moving of the $3 million, the ARPA money on Monday. I said it to you, Stephen. I said, why are we having this meeting outside of the impacted community? That is a disgrace. It's disrespectful and it needs to stop. And let's just talk about the council. Dominique voted for this. I did not. Tom Figler did not. Bob Anthony did not. Lori Sweet did not. Abdul Osmanu did not, because I talked to the people. I lived down there. I talked to them. They said they're concerned. We haven't addressed the whole issue with regard to the remediation. People aren't coming. If we moved the middle school out of there 25 years ago, why are we doing this? We haven't even addressed the concerns of the community with regard to the whether or not the contamination is still there or it's not. The bottom line here is, I have asked Kia, I will ask you the same thing. Can you please contact people and have meetings inside the impacted community so you can have a real live discussion and stop having these meetings where nobody gets the flyer? You know how I got the flyer? Not from the town. I got it from a constituent. He said, did you know anything about this? I sent it to Kia and said, launch logo is on this flyer. Are you going to be it? She's like, no, I'm not running that meeting. So why are we, what is with the smoke and mirrors? It's just, it has to stop. It has to stop. I didn't vote for it because the people don't want it. The people who voted for me and put the little bubble in the name next to my name on that ballot said no. We have to listen to them.
And all I wanted to say, I was simply explaining that there was a council.
You can't be disrespectful and start telling us about democratic processes, because that's rude.
No, I'm sorry, ma'am.
That's rude.
It actually is factual.
It's disrespectful to talk down to people in this community. We've had enough.
You were at
So-
our place.
so-
You came here. We did this. You know what?
It's disrespectful.
Disrespectful to every single person who's
I'm
spoken.
explaining.
You've been dismissive. You should have called the mayor.
So,
Yeah.
It's rude.
Am I wrong? I could be wrong. Am I wrong? Okay, I thought so, but I
So-
wanted to make sure.
I am trying,
We talked to everyone. Everybody who's come to every one of these meetings has voiced that they
Alright.
don't want this. They don't care if Lauren wants her name on something.
so,
That is not a legacy, because we already have legacies we're living with, like crumbling foundations, toxic sites, Six
I
Lakes.
feel like I'm surrounded
And we're
by a
not
bunch
doing
of people who
anything.
want to
We're just creating another legacy of something we're gonna have to deal with in 10 years.
Excuse me, what did you just say?
I feel like I got a lot of statements that are trying to be made about what's going on, so I'm surrounded by a lot of this. So like, what I've heard so far is that like a lot of people don't want it. I hear that. Like, I feel like I am in a rock kind of hard
So
place.
here's what we'll do, here's what I think that should happen tonight. Go tell Lauren we don't want it. We don't want it.
And she should be here and not you. She put you in this position. And she did this the last time.
She's not here for a reason, she knows what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
All I can do is say that I will convey what has been said.
Yeah, where's Sean? Where's Sean Grace? Where's any of
so,
And
try not to interrupt anyone. So, two things. Number one, I did not vote for this. Let me get, with all due respect, let me just finish, all right? I try not to interrupt both of you, so please do the same. Do not vote for this. The person that you replaced, I asked multiple questions about some of the environmental things. Well, I have to get back to you. I asked about the cap of the foundation for the community center or whatnot. Never got an answer back. And now he's no longer with the town. There were other questions that I asked. I never got an answer back. The other thing I'll say, there's a meeting, was it middle of last year at the Keefe Center where there was maybe 80 people?
Yeah.
There were maybe 2 residents that were for the Keefe, for this Keefe, whatever it was called at the time. It had a different name, okay? There were multiple vendors that were doing services for the town already, nonprofits that were doing services for the town already. 98% of the people, residents that attended that meeting in the Keefe Center was packed, were against it. And no disrespect meant to you, you weren't with the town at the time, but it's just to know a history of it. And I'm sorry you were put in the middle of this. The mayor and the chief of staff should be here, because in my eyes, this is a vanity project for the mayor that she wants her name on it. That's all it is. Thank you. I apologize for things going off on you. Hope you have a better night.
So like, something I have heard commonly is that concern about sure, I acknowledge that. It's concern about the contaminated situation, soils, building, whatever it may be. So is that correct? I mean, that's correct, right? Like that's what I heard. Like there's a concern, right? You have a very strong concern with that?
Yes.
Okay.
When the
So-
middle school was, well, you weren't here, but when the middle school was relocated here,
Yes.
they didn't remediate that property 25 years ago. So
Let's stand here, Rodney.
our kids back in there, I'm not understanding that. If it wasn't good enough 25 years ago, what makes it good enough now? This is, answer
What
that.
could they do to change it?
What,
I feel like that's kind of,
there's been no change.
So you better sit still until she's done.
well, I think that I have to step a few statements and questions back into what Yvonne was saying and say that, like, I don't, it's, what I understand is that's not correct. They did actually remediate the property.
Yeah.
Sinus streams. So like,
It should have gone 6 feet down, and if it was me doing it, I would have went 10 feet down to make sure it wasn't going to be a problem.
so what you're saying is that the remediation that did occur, there was remediation that occurred, right? There was some that occurred, right? That's
Oh,
what
you mean over there where the properties are sinking?
So I'm not talking about the homes portion, I'm talking about the middle school property.
But that's what we should be talking about, those homes in there.
There's a whole thing going on right now. We are doing a lot of investigations into the homes there. Like, don't even bring up Dale Cruz. Like, I get it. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
He was the
I don't know that guy.
best.
Like, I'm sorry that you had to deal with it. I'm sorry. No. Like, so the remediation did occur though. Like, the property was occurred. Like, so yes, in the fields, in the grassy areas, right? All right. So that was, I think, 5 feet. Dug down, pulled out the dirty dirt.
4 feet.
That's
right.
This is the problem, is the numbers change. It's
No, it
always
did
a
not
different
change. There's a
thing.
report that I have
Just in
right
this
here. if you
sentence,
wanna
you
look
changed
at
it 3 times.
Would you like to have it here from Pete?
Which shows that you don't
I
know
didn't
the.
make the report.
No.
The report came from the regional water authority, who was one of the parties involved with the remediation. Like, I can only read what I'm seeing in this official report.
So the building, the old school building,
Yes.
is that going to be demolished? Yes or no? It's a simple question, yes or no?
And it's
Is
not
it
a
go-
simple answer because it's the classroom building will be demolished.
That's what I'm asking you, the actual school.
Yes, the
You're saying the
classroom.
classroom
So
building,
there's,
that's the school, that's the whole building.
there's 2 buildings.
And there's the gymnasium.
And then there's a gym, yeah.
It's the gymnasium that's the issue for me, because you're renovating that gymnasium,
So-
it's a bunch of mess.
We're renovating, but before the renovation starts, there's a selective demolition and abatement. So we remove everything in there that is problematic, like.
What's the dollar sign, what's the amount of it? I just wanna know, what's the cost to do this? I know you know, what's the cost?
But I don't fully.
Give me a
Like,
guess,
I have a team right now that we're working with to get that
and
understanding.
your team should have been here.
They are here. I don't feel comfortable giving you a number that has no firm conclusion.
I know why you
Yes.
don't want to get the number.
I can give you a range. It's,
Give me a range then. I guesstimate, that's what a guesstimate is. Give me a range, honey. Come on, Steve.
so when we put the request into the state for demolition and abatement money for this site, we negotiated $5.4 million.
5.4 million. Got it.
So That money covers the demolition of the classroom
Okay.
and can be used for the selective demolition and abatement of the gymnasium building. So we're using that money to cover that
Demolition of the gymnasium?
selective.
It's just
So what we're doing is,
Oh, so I get it.
hold on,
So you're patching up. That's what selective means to me, patching.
hold on. So what we're doing is everything in there that is a risk. And right now, what we discovered is PCB, lead, asbestos, standard stuff for anything built prior to 1970. It's just that's what's in there.
So how do we test
It's
the
not the
soil under the gymnasium that you have selected demolition?
Because the work that we would do encapsulates it in a way that makes it inaccessible. Because the things that are in the soil are contact exposure, it's a contact exposure risk. So by putting a new flooring in the gymnasium building when we're done, and encapsulating it.
They're gonna be like a 4-foot deep.
So this is like my black sheet weed barrier I put in, and for the first 2 years, it's great, and then after that, my weeds hook up in.
Exactly.
Not,
Yeah.
not exactly,
Okay.
because a weed barrier is a piece of plastic you put over and it doesn't really work. It's
I
different.
have a
But
question. Well, I actually have two. One, was anyone ever told why this particular space and why everybody took part in it? My second question is, before it was the youth, recreation, it was a community center or something else. So the ARPA funds were allocated prior to it being the youth center. If we can't change it now, how was it changed from the community center to the youth center? So my thing is, why put the kids somewhere where you're no longer doing the stuff?
so, okay,
Because the money,
can answer
ARPA money
that.
is specifically for the youth, it's for youth services, right?
Yvonne,
So they can justify it by putting youth in the front of it. It's simple. That's it, go ahead, tell your version.
my version.
No, I'm serious, tell your version, I'm not trying to be funny, I'm just tired of BS, because that's what it is.
Okay,
I
so,
don't have the capacity to keep sitting here listening to the nonsense, because it's not gonna solve anything. You're not gonna solve it, and I'm sorry, Steve, that you're in the middle of this, it's not gonna solve it. I still halfway like you, I didn't get my speed bumps, but you know, you're still cool. But I'm telling you, you're not gonna win this. Most of the people in here are women, you are not gonna win this. You guys are not gonna win this battle, I'm telling you right now.
I don't want to win anything. If you have questions, do you
You're
want me
gonna win the
to,
war.
do you want me to answer the questions? I'd be happy to.
Answer our question.
I don't have this time. Can I answer the question and I'll get back to you? I got you. So, I think you asked, this a minute ago, so you asked why we went from one, I think a community center to a youth center? Okay, so I think the answer to that, I don't actually have, because both Ayana and I were brought into this after those types of things were done. Like, we were asked to take on the project because the person that was left for a different job. And so I haven't been keyed into a lot of that conversation. I don't have a full understanding of that.
Because everyone is saying, the residents are saying no, anyone that has any interest in that area is saying no. But the administration is so keen on this particular space, what is attached to it that is keeping them locked in on this specific space? Something's wrong. Something's wrong.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be as eloquent.
So, the other part is why we went from one to another. I think it was started off as a scope change. There was a vision presented that had a dollar sign attached to it. The value of the funding provided for it kept reduced, so the project leader pivoted into this different visualization of this, because there was a gymnasium, so they visualized it as a youth center. And that's my understanding. And yes.
My question is, you've got what, $10 million to renovate that
About.
ground here, right? Why can't you ask for more money? You got $10 million.
They got 24 million, 10 million.
Yeah, but I'm saying you got that allocated for that particular space. So I'm saying, why can't you ask for more money? Knock it down and build it properly. Why start with something that you already have existing that you know there's a problem with? Just like the lady said, years ago, it was so easy, why not renovate it with the middle school? So now you're gonna wait 20 more years, or whatever it is, 30 years, and now you're gonna say it's safe to go and have to be renovated. So, I mean, that's like crazy, it's like apples and oranges. If you go to buy a car, and it's what the car is, a used car, you know you're gonna get a better deal with a new car. So my patch, I've been going to these meetings for years, and like you said, everybody's frustrated. Just like Bob said on the council, you know, Republican, I know everybody's Democrat, mostly him. He said, why don't you ask them to allocate the money and start from scratch? And that's what everybody's saying. That's one of the biggest problems. It doesn't make sense. I mean, like the lady said, you're gonna sell down in trouble. We've been sitting here listening to this crap for I don't know how many years. And it's intentionally that the mayor didn't show up, or they're in what's his name, whatever. And, you know, I mean, come on, this is a big decision. You know, everything is like being pushed on, it's not the company's fault. You know, when I'm saying, you know, you're gonna say, yeah, this is good. Then 7 years down the road, or not even that long, like the lady said, you're gonna start having leaks. You gotta pay, anybody knows, if you're gonna start, why don't you just do it right from the beginning? When you start out wrong, you're gonna finish wrong.
Okay, I hear you.
And that's why the mayor needs to be here, so you can say, why can't you go and ask for more money? You can ask for money for everything else you want, why can't you ask for more money to rebuild, knock it down, tell me. It would be easier on the contractors too. They just go in, lay their floor plan down, do what they gotta do. Instead of here and there, then you go, oh man, God, wait a minute, we run into a problem.
We missed this
We got
part.
a pipe here we didn't know about. All kinds of stuff is gonna start happening, unless we start digging and smashing.
Yeah, then there's gonna be overruns and cost
And
overruns,
it's
because it's always.
the community. We're gonna get impacted with rodents and everything else. So we need to get rid of that whole bill. I mean, that's the bottom line, that's what everybody's mad about. It doesn't make sense, you got half the building saying the other building, oh, it's good. You know, we're gonna knock it down, we gotta knock it down, then the other building, oh, we don't have to knock it down, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, we have a technical team that's looking at the condition of the gymnasium building.
Okay, so what if they go in again, and they try to knock it down, they start finding more problems, are you gonna ask for more money?
I mean, we have a break-even point where if we find too much wrong, it doesn't make sense anymore. I mean, like, we're still not there, like, we haven't hit that point yet. It's something that we have, like, the project team meetings tomorrow to, like, fully flesh out, like, exactly what has to be removed. That's like the demolition I talked about.
Can I ask a quick question? So is everybody that is here, can I just get you don't have to, is there any, let me put it this way, is there anybody here that wants to talk about what should happen in this building? Please don't yell at me, I'm just asking the question.
No.
Because if they're not, if they're
No, that's
not
a good
single
question.
person, if there's
I
not
do.
a single person,
I do.
then
I want to talk about the building.
because all I'm trying to
I do.
say is,
I do.
I have a question.
A gentleman who walked in. I have a question, and I've been asking this for close to 2 years. How much is it gonna cost? What's the bottom dollar? I still haven't gotten that answer. We went from a senior center to a campus facility, to a youth center, to an art center. We're all over the place. And in the paper, I'm on the council. In the New Haven Register, I saw this design. Okay? I still don't know what the bottom line is, dollars and cents. Because if there's cost overruns, it's on the taxpayers. And now I'm finding out, after a year and a half on the council, that the residents of the community down there don't want it. So we're shoving it down their throat. And it makes no sense to me, Stephen. It makes no sense. We could take that money, redo those foundations. That solves a big problem down there. Big problem. And I've been saying that for quite a while now, but it's on deaf ears. I'm not yelling at you. I do get a little high strung. So, but it's a shame. We have residents, taxpayers are losing the number one investment they've ever made in their lives is their home for 90% of us. And they're losing them. And we're gonna put up a youth center. And we're gonna put tracks in the back. We're gonna have wax all over the place. Who's gonna use them? The seniors aren't gonna use them. They're not gonna use them in the dead of summer. They're not gonna use them in the dead of winter.
Councilman Anthony, we did present a budget. It wasn't my work, but
No, I know that.
it was presented when the resolution was passed.
Yes,
It included an operating budget for the facility.
yes. But I
So
still,
it's there.
right now, we have 9.5 million. And I'm not sure that number's there, Dominique, to be honest with you. I thought we moved some money out of there. With all due respect, I still haven't seen the bottom line. Because you know, and I know, that the original plan was over $20 million. So,
That was a different footprint.
yes, but now, it's not a different outlook, it's not a different vision, it's just a different footprint, but it's gonna be on the taxpayers to pay the difference.
So I just want to say something, I mean, Steve and I can't make this decision.
No, I understand that, and I don't mean to be rude. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but it's just very frustrating.
About what our job is, then we probably would the meeting and take back everybody's comments, because there's nothing else that we can do. We can't force you guys to say what you want to do with this building, because we don't want to do anything with this building.
But you're not coming in with numbers that matter, like how much is this gonna cost? Can you guarantee there won't be over?
I'm getting the conclusion,
You know?
nobody in here is interested in the subject matter of this meeting this evening. So I don't want to keep anybody, and these gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, that don't have anything to do with the issues here. We will need to go back to, to our meetings internally and figure out what the next steps are based on what you are all very clear. And again, I know you've been saying this for a long time. I know that.
She's not listening to us. She doesn't listen to us. We don't matter.
This happens at every meeting that's been held about this center.
I'm ending this meeting because nobody, so like, we are listening.
I get it.
Including what's happening to you, which is you're put in a position where you gotta get killed.
She's the one that needs to be here. I just texted her,
They're just
she
throwing them
didn't,
in
she didn't
there with
respond.
fire.
She probably got me blocked by now, but you can't change this because here's the thing. You're welcome. The issue for me is that calling these meetings, the town calls these meetings and say, oh, we want your input. The bottom line is, you have a building designed already of what you want it to look like. That building right there, it's ridiculous, but that's what you have. It's not something that I would, you're not gonna wanna be in there. What was this? It looks like a prison to me. That right there, and I know you didn't pay attention until I was sitting here and I looked, and that's on the flyer as well, so that's the design that you want. So now you're asking us, the people, for a voice and what we want to see in there. You've already made the decision. The name has been changed to Youth Arts and Recreation Center. That wasn't the initial name. That wasn't the initial name. But the bottom line is, you guys have already made your decision. These meetings that we keep having, they're moot issues. It doesn't matter. We can sit here and we can talk to her blue in the face. Lauren is gonna do what Lauren wants to do, period. Until she goes and runs for lieutenant governor.
So I
She's
don't,
gonna do that, she's gonna make her mark, and she's gonna move on.
I
So the
definitely,
bottom line is, these meetings, why do you keep having these meetings? Because none of us are gonna agree. So unfortunately, we brought these big people out here, when you guys know darn well, you were at the meeting at the Youth Center 2 months ago. You knew darn well that was your first baptism by fire. You knew darn well that we didn't want it. But nobody's talking about the fact that the people don't want it. You guys keep hearing us, you keep listening to us, but you don't hear us. You keep listening to us, and then you schedule the next meeting, you say, okay, now, we're gonna do. This town has what, over 60,000 people in it?
and no one
And you
showed
think
up,
that this
and
is a
no,
forum?
and no one showed up.
Because you guys are not letting people know about the meeting.
That's not what I'm saying, ma'am.
No, that pisses me off, because I know for a fact, and I've said it at every meeting, that you guys are not getting the information out. When the school wants to get information out, they do their platform, whatever their platform is. Use that freaking platform. When Kurt Lane was the mayor, he used the platform when he wanted to get information out to the people.
I found out
So don't tell me that you guys are not listening. There's no communication in terms of, letting us know in advance, and there is an opportunity to, I know that when you have meetings and things, you have so many days, before the meeting that you should be letting the people know, like a public, whatever, okay? The bottom line is you guys are not doing that. I've gotten on social media to blast it that this meeting was occurring, but everybody's not on social media, and this is effective. And it's, you know, you guys do what you want, you gotta, listen, when they're running for office, those felons come to my house 3 or 4 times a week. So use that same platform. It's not fair that people don't know. You can't hear the voice of the people, you're hearing the voice of a few, because we are the ones who are actually kind of getting the information. I put it out there as much as possible, but everybody's not on social media. Everybody's not on social media, so this is not helping. You guys can bring in who you wanna bring in the massive individuals, we'll tell them to, we don't want it. So these gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen have come here tonight because they thought they were gonna have an opportunity to speak, but what you guys did not tell them is that the people don't want it. Because they probably would have never showed up.
So I was agreeing with you.
I mean,
That's why I was trying to say that you're
I'm
right, that
curious.
nobody showed up here in support of giving input. And so that is something, that is information that
not
we need
enough
to
people
take.
know, not enough people know about the movies.
And
The town
that's
sends an
not
email,
enough
right?
people.
But if you're not on the town's email list, I get it because I'm on their list, right? So if you're not on the town's email list, we have a at-large councilman on our street that I never see at the meetings, and we can't talk to her.
I think that, I don't know what the platform is with regard to the schools. I don't see why we couldn't put it out that way. That sounds like a great suggestion because we do want to have many more people coming to these meetings. So if there's that.
You might want many more people coming to this meeting, but that's not ours.
Let's plan to have more
And it's
people
not
come to
fair,
the meeting.
it really isn't, it's not fair, and forgive me, I'm a very passionate individual, and you know, I call it kettle black, I don't call it scorch, I call it exactly what it is, I don't know how to sugarcoat stuff. I say what I say, and I mean what I say.
Can I make a suggestion? So, listen, I do think that that building should be torn down. I do think grass should be planted, and we should see in 10 years what happens there, but that's just my opinion. But
We need to dig that
a
dirt up
short
and
time
move
ago,
it
the
and put some
legislative
more.
council approved the police department in the plaza to have, and I forget the wording, it's some type of a community center. And I do not understand why we are not waiting to see the effects of that. Does it work? Do the kids go to it? Is it helpful? My biggest thing about where, because I'm sorry, this name now is ridiculous. Is the jobs are in the plaza and the mart and on what used to be the Magic Mile. If we want a center, it needs to be there, where you can help kids do resume building, where they can go for interviews and maybe stop in the center for that lifting up because they're nervous before they go. It needs to be at a location where your youth from both the middle school and the high school can walk to it. But by all means, knock the building down, but we need to see what our youth do with this in the plaza. Are they utilizing it? Is it effective? What do we need to change about it? If anything, will it reach them or do they not care? I'm sorry, somebody who is struggling to make ends meet and keeping tabs on their child and knowing the ins and outs, sure as freak does not want their kid hanging out with the Keto boys. And these are things that need to be addressed.
They're not, that's not a community center, so I was on a meeting that night, and the chief of police started out saying that they started out kind of saying community center, and I believe it was Councilwoman Gallagher who continued to ask questions that they needed to answer for her. And I remember the chief saying, well, it's really a meeting space. It's not really a lease because they're getting the space for free, but the way that I heard it in my brain as he was talking, that when it was proposed, I believe to the owner of the plaza, it looked like it was being proposed as the police are gonna be there. He
They're not
clearly
staffing it.
said they're not staffing it. It's not gonna be any, cells there. It's gonna be the resource, officer from the schools is gonna be there. The social worker is gonna have an office there, and it's gonna be a meeting space for the community. No, it's not a community center anymore.
Oh, yeah, it is what it is.
And it's
So
supposed to
They
be
gotta
only
put
for
what it
2
is
years.
on the.
So that space is only supposed to be for 2 years. That's what he said on the meeting. It's only supposed to be for 2 years. That's how long it's supposed to take them to build this new community center. It's supposed to take them 2 years. So they're doing this in the interim. And furthermore, the Y closed down. What town doesn't have a Y? The Y closed down, right? So there's nowhere for the kids in northern Hamden to go. But you have to keep community center. But there's social services, there's WIC, there's a food bank, there's a diaper bank, there's a senior center, there's a daycare here. It's not a community center. Neighborhood housing is in there. Youth services, is offices in there. That's the community center in our neighborhood. We don't need to build one on contaminated soil. We need to have that. They need to put them somewhere.
I think,
This
Ayana,
is no longer a community center.
I think Ayana indicated that since there's no feedback for it, and the only feedback is no on it. Yes, absolutely.
I have over 55 years, right here on New Wall Street. I brought a house across the street from my parents, another individual, 55 plus years, Ken, 55 plus years, Keith, 55 plus years, his neighbors, 55 plus years. It's like you're peeing on our leg and telling us that it's right. And it's such an insult. That building has served its time. Like I said, my father was a Hamden Fathers volunteer coach ever since I was 4. I'm in my 60s. With that being said, let it go. Because you have not done, not you personally, but the town has not done the residents that live in that area that had work done on their house right yet. Not you personally, you let Dale Coop come in and just have his way. And just promise a consolation prize over here, you get your house sided. I'm gonna destroy your basement, do all the above. And right now, we're trying to fix our property, get our property fixed. But you wanna take the money and put it into a center that no one's gonna use. You have kids on motorcycles going up a one-way street every day that it's sunny out and sometimes raining. In that area, we live there. Back and forth. The streets are terrible, the sidewalks are terrible, but you wanna build that. It's had its time, it served its time. Let it go. Treat us good. We still gotta pay those taxes.
I'll give Board of Ed the money they need for kids.
I've never been delinquent. Do you want a receipt? Do I want a receipt? Give me my receipt. Of course I want all this money I'm dishing out. But you allow this individual to come in and, like I said, give out consolation prizes and not take care of people's houses that were affected by what the work they did, which was shoddy. Now, I'm tired. I've been saying this and contacting these people ever since 2015. Enough is enough.
Steve, I don't think there should be any more meetings because nothing's going to happen. I'm sorry, I'm passing it
I
on.
think that, for what it's worth, with my respect, seriously, I've spoken with you, you're very positive.
Not an issue person.
You've gotten the feedback. You've heard the answers, and not one person have I heard say it's for it. So that's the feedback, that's my take. And it is what it is. I mean, just to sum it up.
You shouldn't be getting this, Warren should.
Yeah, it should be,
Yeah.
it's not you personally, okay? You know, but enough is enough.
She owes you a car or something. This is not cool to do to people either, and that's another issue. It's like, we have to kind of explain things to whoever's been hired in front of us that evening to have more in there. And then hear about how we love the kids, except we're gonna cut it, the Board of Ed money. like,
Yep.
to the point where Quinnipiac has to like do a charitable donation so we can have sports, but we're building a community sports center. Like, none of it makes sense and none of it's true. I mean,
December second.
the reason behind it. As far as like the engineering stuff, like nobody has the background to even understand that stuff without having to go back and look at it. And I could figure it out if I had a week to go back and look through what these numbers mean. And I'm pretty good like that, not everybody is, but nobody's coming and saying like, yeah, there's not gonna be cost overruns, or we put aside money for cost overruns. Like none of these plans, every project we do gets screwed up. And that's why we have the crumbling foundations, Olin's, Winter Green, and all the other projects that have gone to crap because nobody thinks them out. Nobody really flushes it. Like this is like, okay, we're gonna start working and hopefully it's not so bad that we just spent like $5 million for literally no reason at all. And that's how we're going on a hope and a dream, just like the pension plan, the reason that the tax rates are so high. Because it's like what that admin wants at the time. We gotta stop doing that and listen to community. Listen to what people want. And more importantly, find out what people need. Like literally need, like urgency kind of need. And you know, I've been following these meetings. I know I've seen a lot of you people like talking about how your houses are falling apart, the awful stuff you have to live with, the trauma for how many years? Like roughly? It's like 15, 20?
20 something.
Yeah, like, and we're building a community center. Like, it's just bad optics. It's like, serve the people first. That's the job.
And also, one thing to consider when or if they do this, when they start to do it, or whatever they're gonna do, when they were doing the flood, our houses were shaking. I know my shower doors, I'm like, whoa, what the heck? And you know, and I'm like, what's going on? So we have to take into the effect our homes that surround, because again, our backyard is the field. And yeah, our house is for shaking. She had them come and put a meter in her house because of the vibration.
You said something that was interesting to me about this youth center.
Yes.
When this decision was made, I have a youth center, Melissa has a youth center. What about us? Not being utilized? Why?
Oh,
Because you want to build a new youth center when you already have existing individuals that have a youth center. And
okay.
it doesn't make sense. So I'm just saying, it does not make sense that you have two individuals in this room, nonprofit organizations that serve you. We specifically focus on middle school. We specifically focus on career exploration, education preparation, leadership development, and life skills, the stuff they're not teaching in school. We're specific to that. And if you're gonna build a youth center, granted, what Lauren said to me is that, oh, well, you can come there and hold programs. This is why we're building a center, so you can come
Just like the
there.
youth center.
Wow.
So,
You can't have the things that,
Why should I
yeah.
go there and have my own program? And the youth affairs, I created my program for him. It was specific to him. I've been in this town for 30 years. I've owned the house I'm in for 26 years, and I was somewhere else 4 years before that. And before that, I owned in New Haven. And so I'm seasoned. I'm 60 years old. And I'm not going down without the money.
But this just be organic
I'm not doing it.
or for me as well.
See, it's on the line, so New York kids
So
are
it's
gonna come.
right on the
New
line.
York kids are gonna come, and you can't turn kids away. I mean, if kids want to come, they're gonna come.
so
You know
like,
what I'm saying? They know what they're doing, not you personally.
I'm an engineer. I would build a box of things like the way that you tell me to and listen to what you have to say on it. I am not like.
But we don't sign your paycheck.
So hold on. What I'm trying to say is like I can't really do much for you anymore like here. Like
But
like,
you
we're
take
here.
information back.
Like I feel like maybe a therapist more than my engineering skills.
Or
I don't know. So.
Let's go back and say what you just said to us, which is, you know, I asked for instructions to build a thing and do this, like, they need to come and ask us for instructions about how to build the thing. And they should be here, not you, unfortunately. At least your company will make some money on this, no matter what happens. Like, you're just here, like, on your own right now. She owes you a car, I swear. But,
So I think we're saying good luck.
Yeah. Yes.
And see how every single meeting we have, we leave the meeting not getting any answers, just like tonight. It's the same thing over and over and
I think the answer that you
We are
want
saying
is,
tonight,
I think
if you would like to have a meeting to continue.
Yes, if all of you sign, listen, December 2nd, thank you. Please make sure December 2nd that you're at the council meeting. Get the word out to everybody that
Okay,
is, excuse me,
give everybody the location.
where's the council meeting? Oh, the president's here, where's your council meetings at, Dominique?
Our council meetings are at Memorial Town Hall. We are at the corner of Whitney and Dixwell. Our next meeting is December 2nd.
What time?
It starts at 7 p.m. But I do want to say, in the middle month meeting, December 16th, we will have dinner.
We don't care about dinner.
I have a very tight budget, but I plan on making our Christmas dinner. So please join us and have a meal with us. Sit down, let's have a round table. And we can have more than just the council behind the desk, but more, we can have a meal together, sit down for a moment and talk.
No, you see how you just did that? I'm insulted.
Because I invited you to the December 17th.
Why you invite me to
It's
the
the last meeting of the month.
I thought the meeting was on the 2nd.
2 weeks in December, not the 3rd. I would like folks to join the last time we met.
Are we gonna be able to answer it? That's a very good day.
more fun, so you just
Yeah.